Okay, so let's do this. Let's unpack this year on the channel.
Sounds good.
You've given us a ton of great material to dive into.
Yeah, a lot to go through.
Transcripts from the live streams,
Mm-hmm.
even notes on the scripts for the videos.
Lots of good stuff.
Our mission,
Yeah,
to give you the most valuable insights from all of this.
exactly. Distill it down to the good stuff.
From this treasure trove of knowledge,
Yeah, it's a gold mine,
think of it as a highlight reel.
right?
But instead of amazing plays, we're after those aha moments about building adaptable and resilient organizations, especially in the age of AI.
Yeah, finding those golden threads, those key insights that can really help people navigate this new world of work.
And you know what's really interesting to me?
What's that?
Here's where it gets really interesting. It's wild to think we can trace management systems all the way back to ancient Sumeria.
It is fascinating how far back these ideas go.
I mean, their taskmaster who had to manage both people and animals to get things done.
Right.
It sounds a lot like some managers we still see today.
It's remarkable how certain patterns persist across millennia.
Right?
I mean, think about it. The Sumerians, they needed to manage agricultural labor,
Uh-huh.
and they developed systems to do just that.
Makes sense.
We see echoes of that in ancient Egypt.
Oh, yeah, with the pyramids.
Exactly. Those massive pyramid projects required complex hierarchies.
Uh-huh.
And dare I say, the original command and control manager
Oh, that's a good point.
and that control-based management style,
Yeah.
it really intensified through the Industrial Revolution.
Right?
It became codified in Frederick Taylor's scientific management principles.
Oh, with that emphasis on efficiency.
Exactly, efficiency and standardization.
Right.
But then we see a shift
Okay.
with lean manufacturing, which
Right.
adds those crucial elements of waste reduction
Yeah.
and, importantly, respect for the worker's role in improvement.
That respect for the worker really seems like a turning point.
It is.
Like we're starting to recognize that people are the key, not just cogs in the machine.
Exactly. And that recognition of the worker is what set the stage for Agile,
Right.
which really puts resilience and adaptability at the forefront.
And it shifts the focus
It does.
from rigid processes to empowering people.
Yeah, to empowering people to navigate complexity.
Yeah, that seems to be a recurring theme. The interplay between control and empowerment.
It is.
It's like a pendulum swinging back and forth throughout history.
That's a great analogy.
Speaking of Agile, there's one analogy that really stood out to me from the videos this year.
Yeah.
The idea of waterfall being like hammering screws.
Oh, yes, that's a classic. What's brilliant about that analogy is
Yeah.
that it highlights the importance of using the right tool for the job.
Right tool for the job.
Waterfall, like a hammer, is great for simple, repeatable tasks where the path is clear.
Uh-huh.
But when we're dealing with the complexities of AI,
Right.
where things are constantly evolving,
Yeah.
we need a different approach.
We need a screwdriver, not a hammer.
Precisely. And when it comes to AI, we need to be even more discerning about the tools and approaches we use.
Okay.
AI can automate and optimize many tasks,
Right.
but it's not a magic bullet.
Definitely not.
We still need human ingenuity, creativity, and adaptability.
Absolutely. And one of the biggest takeaways from this year's content is that Agile is more than just a set of practices and tools. It's a mindset, a way of thinking and working together that prioritizes people, collaboration, and continuous improvement.
It's a culture shift.
It really is.
It's about those values and principles, things like prioritizing individuals and interactions, welcoming change, and focusing on customer collaboration.
Yeah.
Those are even more crucial as we navigate the uncertainties of the AI age. It's like that aha moment when you realize that simply following a set of rules isn't enough.
Right.
You have to truly embrace the values and principles behind Agile to unlock its full potential.
It's about the why, not just the how.
Exactly.
And, it's fascinating how the Agile Manifesto, which was born out of the challenges of software development in the late 90s, is so relevant today in this entirely new context.
It speaks to the enduring power of human-centered principles. In a world that's becoming increasingly automated and data-driven, those principles provide a vital counterbalance.
Yeah.
They remind us that technology should serve humanity, not the other way around.
And to do that effectively,
Yeah.
we need to cultivate a culture of trust and psychological safety where people feel empowered to experiment, learn, and adapt, whether they're working with humans or AI.
That's a crucial point. Psychological safety isn't about creating a conflict-free environment. It's about building a space where people can take risks, share ideas, and even make mistakes without fear of punishment or humiliation.
It's about creating that space for growth.
Exactly. It's about fostering that sense of belonging and purpose that makes people want to contribute their best work, knowing that their voices will be heard and their contributions valued.
So how do we create that kind of environment?
That's a good question.
What practical steps can leaders take to foster psychological safety, especially as AI becomes more integrated into the workplace?
Well, first and foremost, it starts with modeling the behavior you want to see.
Okay, so leading by example.
Exactly. Leaders need to be vulnerable, admit when they don't know something, and encourage open dialogue.
Right?
It's about creating a culture where it's okay to ask questions, challenge assumptions, and even disagree respectfully.
It's about valuing those different perspectives.
It is. It's
Yeah.
about valuing diverse perspectives and recognizing that everyone has something valuable to contribute.
And that includes AI.
Absolutely.
One of the most important things we can do is to approach AI as a partner, not a threat.
Couldn't agree more.
By focusing on AI's strengths, its ability to analyze vast amounts of data, identify patterns, and automate tasks,
Right.
we can free up human teams to focus on what they do best, things like creative problem solving, critical thinking, and building relationships.
It's about finding that sweet spot where humans and AI can work together to achieve outcomes that neither could achieve alone.
And that requires a shift in mindset. Instead of viewing AI as something that will replace us, we need to see it as a tool that can augment our capabilities and help us reach new levels of performance.
And that leads to another important theme that emerged from this year's content, the importance of emotional intelligence.
Emotional intelligence, that
Yeah.
ability to understand and manage our own emotions and the emotions of others.
Exactly.
In a world that's becoming increasingly complex and fast-paced, emotional intelligence is no longer a nice to have, it's a must-have.
Absolutely. It's what allows us to navigate difficult conversations, build strong relationships, and make sound decisions, especially when the stakes are high.
Especially in the context of AI.
It becomes even more crucial because AI systems, for all their processing power, lack the emotional depth and understanding that humans possess. They can't read between the lines, pick up on subtle cues, or empathize with our experiences.
So we have to step up our game.
We do.
We need to be even more intentional about cultivating our own emotional intelligence and creating workplaces where emotional awareness is valued and practiced.
It's about creating that space where people feel safe to express their emotions,
Right.
ask for help when they need it, and support each other through challenges.
It's about creating a space where people can bring their whole selves to work,
Exactly.
knowing that their emotional well-being is just as important as their technical skills.
And that leads to another critical concept, the importance of communication, particularly in the age of AI.
Communication is essential.
It's the lifeblood of any organization, and in the AI age, it becomes even more important.
I can see that.
AI systems, for all their intelligence, are only as good as the data they're given and the instructions they receive.
Right. So we need to be super clear.
We do. We need to be crystal clear in our communication, both with each other and with AI systems.
How do we do that?
Well, it's about being mindful of our language, our tone, and our intentions. And we need to be aware of the potential for miscommunication, especially when working with AI. AI systems can be incredibly powerful, but they can also be easily misunderstood. A slight change in wording or phrasing can lead to entirely different outcomes.
So it's not just what we say, but how we say it,
Exactly. Nuance matters.
especially with AI.
Absolutely. So how do we ensure that our communication is clear, concise, and effective, especially when working with AI? What are some practical tips for navigating those complexities?
That's the million-dollar question, right?
Yeah.
It seems like there's so much room for misinterpretation,
Yeah.
especially when we're dealing with something as complex as AI.
Well, first and foremost, it starts with active listening. Active listening is more than just hearing what someone is saying. It's about truly understanding their perspective, asking clarifying questions, and reflecting back what you've heard to ensure you're both on the same page.
It's about being present in the moment, paying attention to both verbal and nonverbal cues, and making a conscious effort to understand the other person's point of view. And I imagine that applies even more when we're talking about AI.
Exactly. When it comes to communicating with AI, active listening takes on new dimension. We need to be attentive to the nuances of AI's responses, recognizing that its outputs are based on the data it's been trained on and the parameters we've set.
It's about approaching AI with a sense of curiosity and a willingness to learn, recognizing that it's a powerful tool that can enhance our communication if we use it wisely.
Another critical aspect of communication is context. Context is the background information that gives meaning to our words and actions. Without context, our communication can be easily misinterpreted.
It's like that classic example of the phrase, "I saw her duck." Without context, we don't know if the speaker saw a bird, witnessed someone avoiding something, or perhaps both.
Precisely, context helps us avoid ambiguity and ensures that our message is received as intended. And in the AI age, context becomes even more critical. AI systems, for all their sophistication, can't always infer context the way humans can. We need to be explicit in providing AI with the information it needs to understand our requests and deliver the desired outcomes.
It's like giving AI a map and compass before sending it on a journey. Without those tools, it's likely to get lost no matter how intelligent it is.
And speaking of journeys, there's another key theme that weaves through the year's content, the idea of transformation, both personal and organizational.
Transformation is a process of profound change, of moving from one state to another. It's about letting go of old ways of thinking and doing things and embracing new possibilities. I think that's something a lot of us are grappling with right now, especially as AI becomes more prevalent.
Absolutely. And in the AI age, transformation becomes essential for survival. Organizations that cling to outdated models and resist change will quickly find themselves falling behind. The pace of innovation is accelerating, and only those who are willing to adapt will thrive. But transformation isn't easy. It requires a willingness to challenge assumptions, confront fears, and step outside our comfort zones.
It's about recognizing that the status quo, while comfortable, is no longer sustainable. It's about embracing the unknown and having faith in our ability to learn and grow.
And that growth often comes through experimentation. Transformation isn't about having a perfect plan from the start. It's about trying things out, learning from our mistakes, and iterating our way to success.
And that's where Agile principles can be incredibly helpful. Agile's emphasis on iterative development, continuous feedback, and adaptability provides a framework for navigating the complexities of transformation.
Exactly. It's about creating a culture where it's okay to fail, fast, learn from those failures, and pivot quickly. It's about embracing change as an opportunity for growth, not a threat to our stability.
That brings us to another critical concept, the importance of leadership in driving transformation.
Leadership is about inspiring and guiding others toward a shared vision. It's about creating a culture of trust, collaboration, and empowerment.
And in the AI age, leadership takes on a new dimension. Leaders need to be comfortable with ambiguity, embrace experimentation, and be willing to let go of control. It's a whole new way of leading.
It is. They need to be able to articulate a compelling vision for the future, one that inspires people to embrace change and contribute their best work. And they need to be skilled at building relationships both with humans and with AI systems. They need to understand AI's capabilities and limitations and be able to guide its implementation in ways that benefit both the organization and its people.
So what does this all mean for leaders who are navigating the complexities of the AI age? What are some practical steps they can take to lead their organizations through transformation?
Well, first and foremost, it starts with developing a deep understanding of AI and its implications. Leaders need to be able to separate hype from reality, identify the potential benefits and risks of AI, and make informed decisions about how to integrate AI into their organizations.
It's about becoming AI literate, not just from a technical perspective, but also from a societal perspective.
Exactly. Leaders need to be aware of the broader societal impact of AI and be able to ask the tough questions, challenge assumptions, and ensure that AI is being used in ways that align with their organization's values and principles.
Another important step is to create a culture of continuous learning. AI is a rapidly evolving field, and leaders need to be willing to stay ahead of the curve. They need to encourage their teams to experiment, learn new skills, and embrace a growth mindset.
It's about fostering a culture of curiosity and innovation where people are encouraged to explore new ideas, take risks, and push the boundaries of what's possible.
And finally, leaders need to be champions for change. They need to be able to articulate a compelling vision for the future, one that inspires people to embrace AI and see it as an opportunity for growth, not a threat. They need to be able to communicate that vision clearly and effectively, build buy-in across the organization, and create a sense of shared purpose and excitement.
It's about leading with empathy, understanding the fears and concerns that people have about AI and addressing them head on. It's about building trust, fostering open dialogue, and creating a culture where everyone feels valued and supported as they navigate the uncertainties of the AI age.
And that leads us to another important theme that emerges from the year's content, the importance of purpose.
Purpose is about understanding why we do what we do. It's about connecting our work to something bigger than ourselves, something that gives our efforts meaning and significance.
And in the AI age, as AI systems automate more tasks, and take on more responsibilities, it's easy to feel like our work is becoming less meaningful, like we're becoming cogs in a machine rather than creators and contributors. So how do we make sure we don't lose sight of that purpose?
We need to be even more intentional about cultivating a sense of purpose in our work. We need to understand how our efforts contribute to the greater good, how they make a difference in the lives of others.
And that starts with identifying our core values, the things that we believe in and that guide our actions. What are the principles that we stand for? What do we want to achieve in the world?
Once we have a clear understanding of our values, we can start to align our work with those values. We can seek out opportunities that allow us to use our skills and talents to make a positive impact, and we can start to view our work not just as a means to an end, but as an expression of our purpose, a way to contribute to something bigger than ourselves.
And that sense of purpose can be incredibly motivating. It can give us the energy and resilience we need to overcome challenges, persevere through setbacks, and achieve great things.
So how do we cultivate a sense of purpose in our work, especially as AI becomes more integrated into everything we do? What are some practical steps we can take to connect our efforts to something bigger than ourselves?
That's a great question. It seems like it would be easy to lose sight of the big picture when we're so focused on the day-to-day tasks.
It can be, but it's essential that we don't. First and foremost, it starts with self-reflection. We need to take the time to understand our own values, our strengths, and our passions. What are we good at? What do we enjoy doing? What kind of impact do we want to make in the world?
Once we have a better understanding of ourselves, we can start to look for opportunities that align with our purpose. We can seek out roles and projects that allow us to use our skills and talents to contribute to something we believe in.
And we can start to reframe our thinking about work. Instead of seeing it as a chore or a burden, we can view it as an opportunity to express our purpose, to make a difference, to leave our mark on the world.
And that shift in mindset can be incredibly powerful. It can transform our work from something we have to do into something we want to do.
Another important step is to connect with others who share our purpose. When we surround ourselves with people who are passionate about the same things we are, it reinforces our own sense of purpose and gives us the support we need to stay motivated.
It creates a sense of community, a shared journey that makes the challenges feel less daunting and the rewards feel even sweeter. Speaking of challenges, one topic that frequently popped up in the live stream chat was the fear of AI taking over jobs of humans becoming obsolete in the workplace.
It's a valid concern and one we need to address thoughtfully. The reality is that AI will disrupt industries. It will automate certain tasks and it will lead to some job displacement. But it's important to remember that AI is a tool, and like any tool, it can be used for good or for ill. The future of work isn't about humans versus AI, it's about humans and AI working together.
So rather than fearing AI, we should be focusing on how we can work with it, right?
Exactly. That collaboration has the potential to create new opportunities, increase productivity, and solve some of the world's most pressing problems. So instead of feeling AI, let's focus on developing the skills and mindsets that will allow us to thrive alongside it.
What kind of skills are we talking about?
Let's embrace lifelong learning, cultivate our creativity and adaptability, and focus on the uniquely human skills that AI can't replicate. Things like emotional intelligence, critical thinking, complex problem solving, and building meaningful relationships.
Those are the skills that will be in high demand in the AI age. And those are the skills that will allow us to shape the future of work in a positive way. Now, along with those future-focused skills, another important theme was the need to understand the past, to learn from history as we navigate the uncharted waters of the AI age.
Absolutely. History provides us with a wealth of knowledge and insights that can help us understand the present and anticipate the future. By studying the successes and failures of past generations, we can identify patterns, avoid repeating mistakes, and build on the wisdom of those who came before us.
And one of the most valuable lessons we can learn from history is the importance of balance. Throughout history, we've seen the pendulum swing back and forth between control and empowerment, between efficiency and resilience, between individualism and collectivism.
And the key to creating a thriving society, a thriving workplace, is to find that sweet spot where those seemingly opposing forces are in harmony.
It's about finding that balance, that
Yeah.
equilibrium.
Yeah.
And AI has the potential to disrupt that balance, to tip the scales in one direction or the other.
But if we're mindful of the lessons of history, if we're intentional about our choices, we can use AI to create a more balanced and harmonious world, a world where both humans and technology can flourish.
Which leads us nicely to the idea of evolution.
Evolution is a process of gradual change over time. It's about adapting to new circumstances, developing new capabilities, and becoming more complex and sophisticated. And in the AI age, evolution is essential for survival.
The world is changing at an unprecedented pace, and we need to be able to evolve along with it. Our organizations need to evolve, our skills need to evolve, and our mindsets need to evolve. And that evolution isn't always easy. It can be challenging, uncomfortable, and even painful at times.
But it's also necessary. If we resist change, if we cling to the past, we risk becoming irrelevant, obsolete, even extinct.
So let's embrace evolution.
Yeah.
Let's be willing to learn, to grow, to adapt, and to transform.
Mhm.
Let's view the AI age not as a threat, but as an opportunity to evolve into something greater, something more resilient, something more human.
And that brings us to another important theme that emerged from the year's content, the power of stories.
Stories are how we make sense of the world. They're how we connect with each other, how we share our experiences, how we pass on our wisdom. And in the AI age, stories become even more important. As AI systems become more sophisticated, they're able to generate their own stories, stories that can be incredibly compelling and persuasive. But how do we make sure we're not losing the human element in those stories?
It's important to remember that AI-generated stories are not human stories. They lack the emotional depth, the lived experience, the authenticity that comes from being human. So we need to be discerning consumers of stories, whether they're generated by humans or by AI. We need to be able to distinguish between fact and fiction, between truth and propaganda.
And we need to be able to tell our own stories, stories that reflect our values, our experiences, and our hopes for the future. Because in the end, it's our stories that will shape the narrative of the AI age.
Now, one of the most powerful stories we explored this year was the story of the Agile Manifesto.
The Agile Manifesto, created back in 2001 by a group of software developers who were frustrated with the traditional waterfall approach to software development. What's so fascinating is that it's still so relevant today, even in the age of AI.
Absolutely. They felt that waterfall was too rigid, too bureaucratic, and too slow to keep up with the rapidly changing demands of the software industry. So they came together to develop a new approach, one that was based on values and principles rather than on rigid processes and rules.
And that approach, which they called Agile, has since revolutionized the software industry and has had a profound impact on many other industries as well.
The Agile Manifesto outlines 4 core values: individuals and interactions over processes and tools, working software over comprehensive documentation, customer collaboration over contract negotiation, and responding to change over following a plan.
These values, which may seem simple on the surface, represent a fundamental shift in mindset. They prioritize people over processes, collaboration over control, and adaptability over rigidity.
And they've proven to be incredibly effective in helping organizations deliver better products faster and with greater customer satisfaction. And in the AI age, the values of the Agile Manifesto are more relevant than ever. AI is a powerful tool, but it's only as good as the people who are using it.
If we want to use AI to create a better future, we need to embrace the values of agile collaboration, adaptability, customer focus, and a willingness to embrace change. It's about having the right mindset, the right approach.
Exactly. Now, one of the most common questions we received this year was, how do I get started with Agile? And it can feel overwhelming, especially for organizations that are used to traditional ways of working.
It's a big shift for sure. Where do you even begin?
It's important to remember that Agile is a journey, not a destination. There's no one-size-fits-all approach, and what works for one organization may not work for another.
So we need to find what works best for us for our specific needs and context.
Exactly. So the best way to get started is to start small, experiment, learn, and iterate.
One popular framework for implementing Agile is Scrum. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Of course, Scrum is an iterative and incremental framework for managing complex work. It's based on the idea of breaking down work into small, manageable chunks called sprints. Each sprint typically lasts 2 to 4 weeks, and during that time, the team works together to deliver a working increment of the product. At the end of each sprint, the team reflects on what went well, what could be improved, and what they'll do differently in the next sprint.
So it's about constant improvement, about learning and adapting as you go.
Precisely. Scrum is a highly collaborative and adaptable framework that can help teams deliver value quickly and respond to change effectively.
Another popular Agile framework is Kanban.
Yes, Kanban is a visual system for managing work. It's based on the idea of using a board to track the flow of work from start to finish. Each task is represented by a card, and the cards move across the board as work progresses. Kanban is a very flexible framework that can be adapted to a wide variety of work environments. It's particularly well suited for teams that need to be able to respond to changing priorities quickly.
So whether you choose Scrum, Kanban, or another Agile framework, the key is to start experimenting. Learn what works for your team and continuously improve.
And remember, Agile is more than just a set of practices and tools. It's a mindset, a way of thinking and working together that prioritizes people collaboration and continuous improvement.
Now, one of the most challenging aspects of implementing Agile is changing the culture of an organization.
Traditional organizations are often hierarchical, bureaucratic, and risk-averse. Agile organizations, on the other hand, are flat collaborative and embrace change.
So how do we make that shift? It seems like a pretty monumental task.
It can be, but it's not impossible. It starts with leadership. Leaders need to be champions for Agile. They need to understand the values and principles of Agile, and they need to be willing to model those values in their own behavior.
They also need to create a safe space for experimentation and learning. Agile is about failing fast and learning from our mistakes.
Exactly. If people are afraid to fail, they're less likely to try new things, and the organization as a whole will suffer. So leaders need to encourage risk-taking, celebrate successes, and provide support when things don't go as planned.
Another important aspect of cultural change is communication.
Absolutely. Agile organizations are highly communicative. Teams are constantly sharing information, providing feedback, and collaborating to solve problems.
So it's important to create channels for open and transparent communication. This might include things like daily stand-up meetings, regular retrospectives, and online collaboration tools.
And finally, cultural change takes time. It's not something that happens overnight. It requires patience, persistence, and a willingness to embrace the journey. So don't get discouraged if you don't see results immediately. Keep experimenting, keep learning, and keep moving forward.
Now, along with cultural change, another challenge that organizations face is finding and developing the right talent for the AI age.
The skills that are in demand today are different from the skills that were in demand even just a few years ago, and the skills that will be in demand in the future are still evolving.
So how do we ensure that we have the talent we need to succeed in the AI age?
It starts with understanding the skills that are most important. And those skills fall into three main categories: technical skills, human skills, and AI-specific skills.
Let's break those down a bit.
Cool.
What exactly are we talking about with each category?
Technical skills are the hard skills that are needed to build and maintain AI systems. These might include things like programming, data science, machine learning, and cloud computing.
Those are the skills that allow us to create and work with the technology itself.
Right. Then we have human skills, which are the soft skills that are needed to work effectively with others, to communicate clearly, to solve problems creatively, and to adapt to change.
So things like emotional intelligence,
Mm-hmm.
critical thinking, collaboration, and communication, all those essential skills that allow us to work together effectively.
Exactly. And finally, AI-specific skills are the skills that are needed to understand and work with AI systems specifically. These might include things like understanding AI algorithms, data interpretation, and how to best integrate AI into existing workflows.
So it's a combination of technical expertise, human skills, and a specialized understanding of AI itself.
That's the ideal combination. So how do we develop these skills? There are a variety of approaches, including formal education, online courses, boot camps, on-the-job training, and mentoring. The key is to create a culture of continuous learning, where employees are encouraged to develop their skills and stay ahead of the curve.
It's about recognizing that learning is an ongoing process, not something that stops once you graduate or finish a training program.
Absolutely. And it's also important to recognize that talent can come from unexpected places.
Mm.
We need to be open to hiring people with non-traditional backgrounds and to providing opportunities for upskilling and reskilling. The AI age is creating new opportunities for people with diverse skills and perspectives. So let's cast a wide net, let's be creative in our approach to talent development, and let's build a workforce that is truly representative of the world we live in.
Now, as we're talking about talent and skills, another important theme that emerged this year was the need for lifelong learning.
The pace of change is accelerating, and the skills that are in demand today may be obsolete tomorrow. So it's no longer enough to get a degree and then coast for the rest of our careers. We need to be constantly learning, growing, and adapting.
Which means embracing a growth mindset, the belief that our abilities and intelligence can be developed through effort and learning.
Exactly. People with a growth mindset are curious. They're open to new experiences, and they're not afraid to fail. They see setbacks as opportunities for learning, and they're always looking for ways to improve.
And that belief is essential for lifelong learning. But how do we actually cultivate a growth mindset?
It starts with recognizing that our brains are wired for learning. Neuroplasticity is the ability of the brain to change and adapt throughout our lives. Every time we learn something new, we create new neural pathways in our brains. And the more we use those pathways, the stronger they become.
So the key to lifelong learning is to keep challenging ourselves, to keep learning new things, and to keep pushing ourselves outside of our comfort zones.
And it's also important to create a culture of learning in our organizations. This means providing opportunities for employees to learn and grow both formally and informally. It might include things like tuition reimbursement, online courses, mentoring programs, and conferences. And it also means creating a safe space for experimentation and failure.
Because when people feel safe to try new things and to learn from their mistakes, they're more likely to be engaged, productive, and innovative.
Absolutely. So let's make a commitment to lifelong learning, both for ourselves and for our organizations. Let's embrace a growth mindset. Let's create a culture of learning, and let's prepare ourselves for the challenges and opportunities of the AI age.
Now, one of the most exciting aspects of the AI age is the potential for innovation.
AI is a powerful tool that can help us solve some of the world's most pressing problems. It can help us develop new cures for diseases, create new sources of energy, and build more sustainable communities.
The possibilities seem almost limitless. But innovation doesn't happen by accident. It requires a culture that fosters creativity, experimentation, and risk-taking.
Exactly. So how do we create a culture of innovation? It starts with leadership. Leaders need to be champions for innovation. They need to be willing to invest in new ideas, to tolerate failure, and to celebrate successes.
And they also need to create a safe space for experimentation. Innovation requires a willingness to try new things, to fail fast, and to learn from our mistakes.
So leaders need to encourage risk-taking, provide support when things don't go as planned, and celebrate both successes and failures.
Another important aspect of innovation is collaboration.
Innovation rarely happens in isolation. It requires people with diverse perspectives and skills to come together and share their ideas. So it's important to create opportunities for collaboration both within teams and across the organization. This might include things like brainstorming sessions, hackathons, and cross-functional teams.
It's about bringing people together, creating that synergy that can spark truly innovative ideas.
And finally, innovation requires a focus on the customer. The best innovations solve real problems for real people.
So it's not about technology for technology's sake. It's about using technology to make a positive impact on people's lives.
Exactly.
Hmm.
So it's important to involve customers in the innovation process to get their feedback and to ensure that we're creating products and services that meet their needs.
So let's make a commitment to building a culture of innovation in our organizations. Let's embrace change. Let's encourage experimentation. And let's focus on creating value for our customers. Because in the AI age, innovation is the key to survival and success.
Now, as we talk about innovation in the future, another theme that emerged this year was the need for vision.
Vision is about being able to see the possibilities that lie ahead, to imagine a future that is different from the present, and to inspire others to work towards that future. And in the AI age, vision is more important than ever.
AI is a powerful tool that can be used to create a wide range of futures, both positive and negative. So it's crucial that we have a clear vision for the future. We want to create a future that is aligned with our values and that benefits humanity as a whole.
It's about being intentional, about making conscious choices, about the kind of world we want to build with AI.
So how do we develop a vision for the future of AI? It starts with understanding the potential of AI, both its capabilities and its limitations. We need to be able to separate hype from reality and to make informed decisions about how we want to use AI.
It's about looking beyond the buzzwords and understanding the real-world implications of AI, both good and bad.
We also need to engage in a broad societal conversation about the future of AI. This conversation should involve people from all walks of life, from different cultures and backgrounds with different perspectives and expertise. Because the future of AI is not something that should be decided by a small group of technologists. It's something that we need to shape together as a society.
It's about having a collective vision, a shared understanding of what we want AI to achieve.
And once we have a shared vision for the future of AI, we need to start taking action. We need to invest in research and development, we need to educate the public, and we need to create policies that support the responsible development and use of AI.
It's about putting those ideas into action, making that vision a reality.
The future of AI is in our hands. Let's use our vision, our creativity, and our collective wisdom to create a future that we can all be proud of.
Well said. And as we wrap up our final deep dive of the year, I think it's fitting to come full circle and revisit that idea of building adaptable and resilient organizations.
You know, after exploring all these themes, all these insights, it really strikes me that adaptability and resilience are not just buzzwords. They're essential qualities for any organization that wants to thrive in the AI age.
The world is changing faster than ever before, and the pace of change is only going to accelerate.
Mm.
To keep up, to stay ahead, we need to be able to adapt, to learn to grow, and to evolve.
We need to be able to respond to change quickly and effectively, to bounce back from setbacks, and to continuously improve.
And that requires a shift in mindset, a shift away from traditional hierarchical control-based models. We need to embrace agile principles to empower our teams to foster collaboration and to create a culture of continuous learning.
We need to invest in our people to develop their skills and to give them the tools and resources they need to succeed. And we need to be bold, to be innovative, and to be willing to experiment. The AI age is full of possibilities, both positive and negative. The choices we make today will determine the world we create tomorrow.
So let's choose wisely. Let's build adaptable and resilient organizations. Let's use AI to create a better future for everyone.
It's like we've been saying all along. This isn't about letting AI just happen to us.
Right.
We have a say in this.
We really do.
We're not passive bystanders, we're active participants.
We get to shape the future.
We do. We have the power to shape the future, and AI is a powerful tool in that process.
It's a tool that we can use to create the world we want to live in.
Exactly. And to do that effectively, we need to understand how to work with AI, how to integrate it into our organizations and our lives.
In a way that enhances us, doesn't replace us.
Right. It's not about AI versus humans. It's about AI and humans working together.
We've talked a lot about the importance of human skills in the AI age. Those things like emotional intelligence, creativity, adaptability. But how do we make sure those skills don't get lost in the shuffle?
That's where education comes in,
Education.
and training.
Yeah.
We need to invest in developing those human skills, both in ourselves and in our teams.
So it's not just about the technical skills.
No, it's not just about coding or building AI systems. It's about those uniquely human skills that AI can't replicate.
Things like critical thinking and collaboration.
Exactly. And empathy, leadership, communication, all those things that make us human.
And how do we cultivate those skills?
Well, it starts with recognizing their importance, making them a priority. And then it's about creating opportunities for people to develop those skills through training, mentoring, coaching.
It's about creating a culture of continuous learning.
It is. It's about recognizing that the way we work is changing. We need to be more agile, more adaptable, more responsive to change.
And that's where those agile principles come in, right?
Exactly. Prioritizing individuals and interactions, welcoming change, focusing on customer collaboration. Those are essential for navigating the complexities of the AI age.
Because the AI age is going to be full of disruptions and challenges.
It will. There will be bumps in the road. But that's where resilience comes in.
Resilience.
Being able to bounce back from setbacks, learn from our mistakes, and keep moving forward.
And how do we build that resilience?
Well, it starts with a growth mindset, the belief that we can always learn and improve.
Even when things get tough.
Exactly. It also means creating a culture of psychological safety.
Where people feel supported.
Right, where people feel comfortable taking risks, sharing ideas, and even making mistakes without fear of punishment or humiliation.
Because mistakes are part of the learning process.
They are, and we all need people we can rely on when things get tough. So building strong support networks is crucial both at work and in our personal lives.
So as we look ahead to the new year,
A fresh start.
let's remember that the future is not set in stone. We have the power to shape it.
Let's embrace the challenges and opportunities of the AI age with a sense of purpose, with a commitment to lifelong learning, and with a belief in our own ability to adapt and grow.
Let's use AI to build a better future for everyone.
A more equitable and more sustainable future.
Happy New Year. And if you found this helpful, stay tuned for more insights on building adaptive, resilient organizations in the era of AI. Thanks for watching.